Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're interested in vocal technique, pick up my ebook called Becoming a Natural Singer, or if you want one-on-one help, book a lesson through my website or drop me an email, links in the description. So I get a question quite a lot. How much compression is the right amount? How much closure is the right amount? How heavy should I sing? All variations on the same theme, really. How much weight is the right amount? And the short answer is it depends, and the longer answer we're going to go into right now. So there's a difference between vocalizing and singing, as we know. When we vocalize, let's cover that first, the answer to how much closure is the right amount. It depends. It depends on the type of coordination we are going for. Yeah, if we're going for a lighter type of compression or a lighter load on the vocal folds, we're going to lean towards less closure. Now, what is less closure? It would be an exercise on a quality like this. E, A, A. Gentle closure. The chords are connecting gently. In the center, or let's go to the other side, if I'm talking to you like this, A, B, 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 ah, ah, A, ah, this will be connecting the chords more fully. E, O, A. That will be leaning towards the heavier side of the coordinations. The chords are connecting fully. Now we have the center. No, 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 ne, no, ne. It's kind of in between. So we've got E, ne, a, ne, E. That gives you a rough idea of the spectrum of closure when we talk about that. Now, the right amount, like I said, depends on what we're going for. But if we're just looking for the right amount in terms of what's the most balanced, what is the exercise or the compression level that gives us the center ground the most, that is the medium compression. So it's not too heady, but it's conversely not too chesty, it's not too heavy, it's not too light, it's not too heavy. So you would have even an exercise like the squeaky door. If I'm going that's kind of roughly in the center. If it was lighter, it would be and if it was heavier, it would be So you can see I'm able to lean in either direction, but I'm also able to find that middle ground. So the right amount of compression in terms of balance, in terms of truly finding the center when we're exercising, is medium compression. Now, for many of us, that compression level can be very hard to find at first. And I want to quickly go into why that is. It's because most people who are struggling singers close the chords crudely. And what I mean by that is the arytenoid muscles that connect your vocal folds, they either want to do not much, i.e. falsetto. The chords aren't really connecting much at all. They're kind of wavering together but not really connecting even on the edges. Or they connect too much. So we've got very little or too much squeeze, too much connection, and nothing in between. So when people go to connect the chords, they're like, right, I've got the chords are apart. It's so hard for them to find the center because those closure chords, those closure muscles, the arytenoids, work crudely. It's like having your arm muscle only working relaxed or fully contracted like this. Yeah, you're not able to move the arm in a way. I hope you can get that in the camera shot. You're not able to move the arm with nuance. You've only got on or off. Now we need to find on medium compression halfway between on and off. And if we've got crude adjustment, can't find it. People struggle for quite a long time to find this because of that crude adjustment. Now exercises like the squeaky door, like lip rolls, particularly the squeaky door, both on a pharyngeal quality and on a hum. Those two exercises are the best at training medium compression. Now why is that? Here's the thing. When we do this, the chords have to connect over and over and over and over and over again throughout the exercise. Every time we have the chords are coming together. So within that one exercise, I don't know if you want to count it, but numerous times the chords have to connect precisely. And when they do that, what are we doing? We are training the arytenoids to work with more nuance. And from that platform, we're able to find the center more easily. Now, in terms of singing actual songs, that kind of covers the scales, what is the appropriate amount of closure in the scales. When we sing songs, the closure can be all over the place. Now, typically it's deliberate and it is done in an artistic way, but we can go from medium compression to heavier to lighter, especially nowadays. You look at a singer like Ariana Grande, she's leaning in and out all of the time. Heady, heavy, medium compression. I would say she's probably on medium compression like 60-70% of the time, and then for the other 30 she's leaning in and out. So what's the appropriate amount of closure for her? Well, the appropriate amount is making sure for her that the boundaries are not abused, i.e. she doesn't get on the too heavy side of heavy and she doesn't get on the too light side of light. And that is once we get to application and we get towards practical singing, rather than searching for the center all the time, we have to really know and understand both boundaries. We've got to be able to find the center and live there, but we've also got to understand where are those lines. Because really what is very detrimental to good singing once we get to a certain stage is if we over squeeze a lot or we under squeeze a lot. The vocal folds will get irritated, the voice will be less reliable, and also it just won't sound very good. Now, depending on how often you do that is going to compromise your sound more or less. If you're just hitting a couple of notes a little bit heavy in a song, it's not a big deal. If you do 20-30% of the song over squeezed, people are going to start switching off. So the appropriate amount of compression is taking the exercises, and when you apply, whether you're leaning in or out or in the center in a song, making sure that you obey those rules that you've learned in the scales. Making sure you don't over squeeze too much and get a tight, pinched sound, and you don't squeeze not enough where it starts to lose coordination. You get too airy, the folds get irritated, and you start pushing, getting wide. This is how the exercises feed into the application, and this is how we learn the fundamentals. We learn medium, light, and heavy through the exercises, and then we take them into singing and we obey those rules. Once we're at that point and we can start answering the question for ourselves, that's when we can start answering the question for ourselves. We can start realizing, okay, I know what medium compression is. I know where the center is. My arytenoids work with nuance, and I can lean in, I can lean out, I can stay in the center, and I can create art, and I can create a connection with an audience that I wasn't able to connect or create before. So as you can see, it's not a simple answer. Often I'll be doing a scale with a student, they'll be saying, just tell me the right amount of compression. And I'm like, well, or they'll say, last week we did this one and you said that was right, and this week it's different. This is heavier than last week and you're saying this is right. Well, which one's right? And it exposes a lack of understanding with the student. Right is grey. Right is not black and white. Last week, we were working on lighter compression levels for some reason. This week, we're working on heavier compression levels for some reason. And I'm checking how much control you have on that compression level, not the one we did last week, which you were more successful with. So the right and wrong needs to be understood in a grey, nuanced way. Typically with struggling singers, they want a tick in a box. They want to know, yes, this is right and that's wrong, and everything's fixed then. And unfortunately, great singing is a grey area. It's a grey zone we have to learn to live with, and we have to learn to mould and kind of craft in a detailed way. It's not black and white. We're not switching on a light. We are turning on a dimmer. We are brightening a dimmer, gradually on and off. Yeah, we're looking for a grey zone. So this is why these questions are so hard to answer with a quick response. And also, just to finish up, think about this. Various singers who are struggling have certain strengths in some areas and weaknesses in others. Some singers can find a heavy compression, but they can't find a light compression. Other singers can find light compression, but they can't find heavier compression. And the exercises that are correct for them varies because they've got a different set of issues to fix. So as a coach, you're trying to get them into the right place, and you can only do that by knowing exactly where they're at and dragging them from where they're at into the right direction. And that where they're at varies wildly from student to student. So it's tough to have success every single time. When we do get success, it's a great thing. When we don't get success, we've got to think about why, and we've got to have patience to work at it and get better. Anyway, guys, that'll be it for today. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll catch you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.